Olivia,
Hey,
congratulations.
thank
Your first
you.
Austin City Limits.
Thank you. It's incredible. Thanks for having me.
So it's got to be a little frustrating having hit records and basically starting off your career as a singer and an artist and not really being able to get out on tour and sing these songs in front of a live audience night after night after night until tonight. Is it a combination of like intimidating a little and exhilarating at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, all of the above. I'm a very nervous person. Like, I get nervous before I take math tests. So, like, performing in front of thousands of people is definitely a little bit nerve-wracking sometimes, but it's so exhilarating. It's just so cool to connect with people on, like, a real human level and, not through, like, social media, which is lovely too, but it's just a whole new experience when you're in person feeling the songs with people. It's incredible.
And actually like hear the audience singing your words back to you.
Right.
That's got to be a little kind of freaky at first, right?
Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. I mean, all of the songs are like so near and dear to my heart and were written from such a vulnerable place. So the fact that, so many people are resonating with them is just absolutely surreal.
So I heard that Cardi B had a few words of advice for you when Driver's License first came out. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, I love Cardi B. I'm the biggest Cardi B fan. And I think I like said it in an interview and she heard it and she tweeted at me. She's like, "You're doing so good for your age. Like, don't let any of that toxic stuff get to you and don't let anyone restrict you from using your voice." And I was like so moved when I saw it. I almost cried. And I printed it out and framed it and it's hanging in my bedroom.
Oh, cool. Good advice.
Yeah, she's great.
So your musical influences are kind of all over the place, but there's a special place in your heart for music from the 90s. So where does that come from? And like who in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I think my parents kind of grew up listening to alternative rock like that, like, Alanis Morissette. I love the White Stripes too. They're more early 2000s, but I love them so much. And I don't know, I just really love music that's super raw and moving like that. So yeah, always been a fan.
So your mom also says that you started singing at about the same time you started talking, right?
Yeah.
Or songwriting too. The songs might not have made a lot of sense back then, but what was it that made you really start to take your music seriously and maybe think about doing something with it?
Yeah, like you said, I've always been writing songs, even if they're gibberish, and I was 4 years old. But it wasn't until I was about 9 years old that I learned how to play piano. And that's when my love for songwriting kind of really skyrocketed. And I learned more about the craft of it all. Yeah, it's just been amazing ever since.
So you're an only child. Do you sometimes wish that you had a brother or sister?
You know what? Sometimes I wonder what it'd be like, but I really think, everything in your life happens for a reason. And I think from a very young age, since I was an only child, I was really comfortable with being alone, being with the thoughts in my head. And I just remember, being like 12 years old and being alone in my room and just writing songs and pouring my heart out. And I don't think that I might have had those experiences had I had sort of brothers and sisters to hang out with. So, in hindsight, everything works out perfectly.
Yeah, there's a reason things are the way they are.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm sure you've been asked this before, but how do you navigate the waters of being a successful artist, a new artist at your age, and at the same time learning about life as an 18-year-old?
Yeah, I mean, taking it one day at a time. I'm definitely no expert at all, but I just love making music and love hanging out with people. So just living my dream every day, and I'm super grateful.
So I know it'd be easy to get sucked into that black hole of social media, but you've been pretty careful about trying to avoid that, right? You sort of have a built-in limiter, or you just force yourself to stay away from it?
30 minutes a day, max. I think social media is really wonderful in some regards. I've used it to connect with fans, and that's been incredible and such an enriching experience. But, sometimes I think everyone has to check in with themselves and check in on their mental health, and sometimes social media can kind of be tricky in that regard.
Mm-hmm. I know, it's addictive,
Very.
And not
it's like
always in a good way,
Yeah.
if ever in a good way.
Definitely.
So you obviously love sad songs. Sour
I do.
is full of them. What is it about sad songs that you're good at writing, you're good at expressing that emotion that other people can connect with?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I love listening to sad songs. I love writing sad songs. I just love music that really moves you. I love music that makes you feel, different after you listen to it, like this sort of catharsis. And I've been writing like sad breakup songs since I was like 10 years old, like before I'd even like held hands with a boy. It's just sort of been something that's always been in me. And so it's super cool to see those songs sort of resonate with people too.
I think there's something you've said, and of course others have as well, that there is something universal about the concept of a breakup. I mean, everybody goes through that, whether it's a breakup with a loved one, tensions in a relationship between members of the same family. And I think that has a lot to do with why your music has such a cross-generational appeal, like in the audience here tonight. I mean, obviously there are the young fans who are right up front, but there's the older fans, their parents, their grandparents. I mean, people from all different generations seem to be able to connect, not just because the songs are about breakups, but there's that universal emotion that everybody shares no matter where they are from and who they are.
Yeah. It's incredible, and it's incredible to see how music can unite us all in that feeling. I remember putting Driver's License out, which is this really like heartfelt breakup ballad, and watching so many people resonate with it. People would come up to me, older men, people of different sexualities and genders and ages. And that was really cool for me to see. And even people who, had been married for 30 years, they'd come up to me and they'd be like, oh, I'm not like feeling that way, but it takes me back to when I was 17 years old and I was going through my first heartbreak. And I think that's super magical that music not only has the power to unite us all in that feeling, but also transport people back to a time when they were feeling the same way that I was feeling. It's just magic. There's no other way to describe it.
And there was a certain magic in this room tonight, because you can write the greatest songs in the world in your bedroom and go into the studio and record them and be really happy with the way they sound. But it's not until you get out on a stage in front of real people and you have that connection with your audience. So congratulations on all your success so far, and there's a lot more to come.
Thank you.
And we hope that you'll come back sometime down the road when you've got maybe some more new music to share with us.
Anytime you'll have me. Thanks for having me again.
You're welcome.